I think we're recording. We never claimed to be anything other than country kids. Oh, well, yes, we got around a little bit in the Army. San Francisco, San Antonio, Fort Campbell, Japan. I learned to eat some very interesting things. But once back home, we ate pretty much the same things we'd eaten in our home. So Donna was always a good cook. Well, we moved out to Denver, Colorado, and we've been hearing about pizza. Never had eaten a pizza, never really intended to eat a pizza, but more people out there seem to speak well of pizza. Well, we borrowed money to move to Denver, Colorado. And when I got my first paycheck, we were tight on funds, and we went over to the south central corner of Denver, a trip of about 8 miles, 8 or 10 from our house. But we loaded up on groceries at a gem store. A gem store was like probably very much like Walmart and Sam Clubs before Walmart and Sam Clubs were around. If you were an educator, you could get a membership card. Don't think it cost you anything or almost nothing. And if you didn't buy a gem, you just about didn't buy it. We'd buy a little bread and stuff like that. But basically, we lived on what we bought in one trip over there. Yeah, gas was cheap, but we didn't have much money. Didn't make any difference that it was cheap. One trip a month. Well, that pizza that Donna bought was a Boyardee. And it was in a box a little smaller than the typical cake mix box. Had some stuff in there you mixed up with water, made a paste, spread that on the bottom of a cake pan, and had a container in there with sauce, tomato sauce in it, spread that on it. Seems to me like they had some cheese, maybe some meat, don't really remember. Did find out you could put a lot of other stuff on there too, make it fancier. And we liked pizza. Once we ate one pizza, we ate several pizzas. Right on down the line, we've liked pizza. When we had the birthday party for our granddaughter in Arizona, the menu every year is pizza, pop, ice cream, and cake. Well, not only did we like pizza, but we lived just a block or two into Jefferson County, and the Sheridan Street that divided the city from the county was just a block or so east of us. Go over to it, go about a half mile or less north there on Sheridan, and regular city block. The place of business didn't occupy a lot of it, but boy, it had a big fancy marquee sign out there, McDonald's. Proudly proclaimed over 40,000 had been sold. Well, we decided we better see what a McDonald's was. Didn't cost us too much, 12 cents for a hamburger. If you wanted some ketchup to go with it, those little cups like they still have, a cup of that ketchup was 3 cents. So you could have a 12-cent hamburger or a little fancier one, 15 cents. We liked them. And I want you to know that that was what they sold. It's what they still sell for about, I don't know, 80 cents or so, maybe $1 now with all the devaluation of our dollar. But anyway, their little tiny hamburger, that was what they sold. That's what they sold 40,000 of. And it didn't look like anything like a McDonald's today. It was kind of a tent, had an awning up that I'm sure closed down when they closed down at night. Made it more of a, I don't know, maybe about a 20 by 20 by 20 tent like affair. Fellow should have bought some of those franchises back then. Oh man, you'd be rich today. We liked McDonald's, liked the pizza. And about talking to Joe Cook about that same time, there after World War II, when he came home, his dad was getting out of the business of elevators. Dad and the boys, the older boys, went into a trucking business, and Joe pointed out that their trucks were not diesels, they were gas-powered, big old semis. They hauled grain all over that part of the country, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and so on. And he said he ran into the Colonel's picture. I think he said at Greensburg in a restaurant. Greensburg, of course, is the town that had the terrible tornado 2 or 3 years ago. And as you went into the cafe, it had a picture of the Colonel and a little sign that said, "We serve Kentucky Fried Chicken." You know, along about that same time, somewhere in there, Carl Jr. started. I read the history of that the other day, a year or two ago, I suppose, after the founder died, and they were putting out a little thing in his honor telling how he got the business started. Incidentally, I like the Carl Jr. hamburgers. I like their dollar hamburger, only now it's $1.39. The dollar goes down in value, so I pay more of them to get my hamburger. We like fast food. We like Wendy's chili, Wendy's potato chive baked potato. That's on the cheapy menu. And we think their cheap salad is the freshest and most crisp you can buy anywhere. And oh man, do we like that Mandarin salad. The fast food thing pretty much has developed in our life, in our married lifetime. Wasn't a lot of it around when we were kids. In fact, I think the first time I knew of anything like that was at Enid, when a little hamburger stand had a special on certain days, 5 for $1. Well, enough on that subject. But it is interesting that we basically, well, in fact, I've always said after hearing lots of gripes about Army food, and then about college dorm food and the hot lunch program food, that what makes good food is what your mama cooked. It's not the way my mama cooked, it's probably not good. Of course, there's a funny, well, I think it's a funny little joke about that the young couple gets married and she tries and tries to cook well, and he just doesn't like anything she cooks, so she gets disgusted, quits trying, scorches things, half cooks things, and he says, "Hey, now that's good. That's the way my mama cooks." We like the way our mamas cooked. I like the way my wife cooks. Now I cook a little and kind of like the way it turns out too, most of the time.